It's your host, LeemyHendrix, and we're back with another episode of LeemyHendrix Show. So if you haven't heard this song, well, now you have. So, as you can see, I'm here with a special guest.
B.Aquarius. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, man.
You can see, B.Aquarius is in the house. Anything you want to say?
No, I'm just excited to be here. I don't know how you found me, but I'm glad you did. This is a new connection for me, so, it's good. Let's turn them up a little.
Y'all know LeemyHendrix gonna do his work. LeemyHendrix gotta do his research. So, we about to get into some real things. Right now, here in the LeemyHendrix Show, before we start any interview off, we get right into it. But we're gonna open our icebreaker questions up. So, you ready?
Yeah.
So, your first icebreaker question is, one secret that you don't mind sharing with your audience and fans right now.
Damn, that's like right into it. Let's see. A secret. What's a secret? What's a secret?
Anything that comes to mind.
A secret about me. Alright, so I ain't gonna tell you all who I know, but a secret about me is that I used to be, ain't really a secret, but I used to be like 331 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
Wouldn't notice that.
Yeah, like dead ass.
That's a good secret.
Our receipts.
So I bet some people about to go do their little research.
Yeah.
So the second question is, describe how art is important to society.
What do you mean by art? Like this kind of art or
Art in general. Any kind of art that
art
you're
is
into.
important to society because like I don't know, when you see a nice picture, this is unique. When I see a nice picture, it intrigues me, it makes me feel good. I don't know.
Yeah. Question 3. Do you have any network of artists that you rely on, and what do they do to support each other?
Network. I have K Brooks. I have his name Aaron Thomas. My cousin, he's a rapper named Blue. We support each other. I know that for a fact when I'm feeling down or uninspired or just discouraged period, I can for a fact, go to either one of them, especially K Brooks or my cousin, and talk to them, and they'll change my whole mindset, and I'll be, back to myself.
So you're basically saying you gotta have a strong network of people around you that's really willing to support you to get through some of the tough times.
Yeah, you gotta support each other because as much as they're there for me, I'm there for them.
Shout out to y'all, real friends support. I feel like I've been saying that like the last couple shows. Everybody be on the same mindset, like. So, those were little icebreaker questions. You ready to get into the real things?
Yeah,
Okay. Let's talk about it. Where are you from, and how does that affect your music?
So I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I was born and raised in the Logan section. How it affect my music? I feel like it's given me a lot of creativity. I tend to think outside of the box a lot of times, and so much where as though people don't quite understand it. And they'll probably look at me a little crazy, but this city is just filled with so much like soul, to be honest. You got Jasmine Sullivan, you got the Roots, of course. You got people like them, they're pioneers to me. Watching them come up, Joe Style, things of that nature, Patty LaBelle.
So would you say Philly is breeding good artists?
Of course. But the industry is a little weird. They pick and choose what cities and what seasons they want to, go with at the time. But I feel like Philly is definitely, on the come up. We've been here, just like, New York has been here. But right now, the industry is focused on the South. So, as they're signing more artists from, Philly, they're seeing what we really about for it. We got a lot of good people out here.
That was a good answer. Where do you find your inspiration from? When is your favorite time of the day to create, and what motivates you to create?
My inspiration is my parents and my siblings, more recently. My favorite time, the good time for me to create is around the hours of maybe 6 a.m. and 12 p.m. That's literally when my voice is in good standing and mentally I'm down to create. Like I'm all over the place, just thinking about ideas. So usually that's when I record my music around those hours.
Those are intriguing hours. Why 6 and 12?
Honestly, I don't know. I'm just now coming into trying to figure that out myself, but it's been like that for years. Like I've been doing music since 2007, so just thinking back on it, like I would like go and record in my living room, and I would be downstairs at 6 a.m. while my mom and dad is upstairs asleep, creating my shit, blasting the music, waking everybody up. But I found that around those times is when my best music.
Okay. How do you define success as an artist?
Success to me as an artist is when you are happy and content within yourself and you're proud of what it is that you're doing and where you're at. It doesn't matter where you are, but as long as it's fulfilling to you, then you're successful in that right.
So you're not even worried about money, fame, it's just about where you are in the current moment.
Because with me, like I said, I've been doing this for a very long time. So more recently, it's like, all right, shit is real. Like you have to come out of pocket for a lot of things. And back when I first started doing music, I was young. I didn't know all that. I didn't care. I was literally making music because that was my outlet, and I feel like I was born into it. Like a lot of people in my family can sing. My dad is an inspiration. My cousin introduced me to a program called Fruity Loops, which I started making beats and shit, like back in '07. So from there, the creative shit kicked in. Oh, I could sing a little bit. I could rap a little bit. Plus, I know how to make beats, so I just started doing my own shit.
Interesting. And how has that helped you in your art, being able just to do everything by yourself as far as like your beats and music?
It's helped me a lot. Because I see now with a lot of artists, in these times, everybody, doing their little record at home type thing, but they still are working on grasping, like, the main part, which is mixing and mastering, and like other elements that go into it or whatever. And I feel like with me knowing all that stuff, because I've been doing it like for years, I'm able to guide certain friends of mine and, help them out as much as I can, I'm not a stranger to actual studios. It's just that for me personally, I've never really had the best experience in them. I always felt like they were, just taking my money instead of trying to, help me create this record or bring the best out of me. I felt like, damn, well, I'm doing it at home. I take it to the studio as a reference, and what I did at home, low-key, to me sounds better than this shit. Plus, what I'm telling y'all not listening. So I'm gonna listen to myself and create my own stuff like I've been doing. And my whole album it's me. The mixing, the mastering is me. The production is from, producers from New Orleans, things like that. But, everything that you hear so far is, it comes straight from me. Even my recent single called Wet. It's a long story about that song, but I co-engineered it with, Aaron Thomas. So, yeah.
So would you be more up to create your own studio in like your house or like having your own studio?
That's the thing, like I think about that and I wouldn't mind, but probably not at my house. Cause like, definitely, my own studio so I could, do my own thing, help people out along the way and stuff too. And if I decide to fall back from, being an artist in general, I can fall back on that because I had the experience.
Okay. So you already know, here on the LeemyHendrix Show, I gotta get all the information for y'all. Whether it's the good, the bad, all the upcoming, all the old stuff, I just gotta get it for y'all. But while I'm also getting information for y'all, I got the information that I wanna know. So right now I'm getting information that I wanna know, then I'm getting the information that y'all wanna know. So the information I want to know is based off your career and everything. The information they want to know is about your personal life and your business, because you know fans always want to be in business. So here go part 2 of the questions. What was it like getting into the studio for the first time?
Okay, what was that like? It was different. It was nerve-wracking. Yeah, different and nerve-wracking. Only because I don't know if any other artists struggle with this, but me personally, I do. When I'm writing a song aloud, you know, just playing it through the speaker, it sounds one way or it's in one key to me. And then when you get in the studio and put them headphones on and record, it's like, oh, you literally gotta sing the song or rap it a different way, either octave higher or lower, or maybe even in a different tone of voice. You know, I don't know. It's a little weird.
So it's like fixing yourself after you already been practice.
Yeah. And then like a lot of people have to record with like one headphone off instead of both of them on, and it's all because you know like what you hear. A lot of us artists, the hearing thing is kind of a difficult.
So what you're trying to say is it's complicated being an artist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people got it down packed, and shout out to y'all. I wish I was that blessed, but you know. Yeah.
So what will be your word of advice for somebody who wanted to get into the studio, make a one-hit wonder just to make a one-hit wonder?
Yeah.
Somebody like me. Cause
Right.
I'm gonna make my one-hit wonder.
So I'm gonna say this: if you ever came to me, it was like, "Big, like I heard you got a stew, like let me come record." What I'm gonna say to you is, because I've been through this shit before. Number one is like, have you ever recorded in the studio before?
Hell no.
Okay. So number 2 would be, is the song already written and complete?
Yes.
Okay. When did you write this song?
3 months ago.
Okay, so you're very well versed in, you know, performing and, you know, rapping the song without forgetting lyrics, right?
Yep. Gonna
Okay.
get my card.
Yeah, because a lot of niggas, they'll come and be ready to record and will come to me with shit that they just did an hour before or maybe a day before and hadn't been going over it. And I had to tell them, you know, it's like you wrote the song and you won't remember it, it's cool, but you have to go over it. Because with me, when I write my songs in my head, I'm already mapping out how I'm about to record this bitch. One take, punch-ins, and this is when all the crazy shit start coming in because my head get crowded sometimes. I start hearing background vocals, ad-libs, and other little shit like all at once. So for me, I have to sort that shit out in my head, focus on one thing, master it, and then move on to the next. These niggas be coming in there, yeah, because I shoot your mom. Oh, wait, hold up, I fucked that doing up. Let me, for an hour. And that's going into the 2 hours that you already fucking booked and you mad at me because I told you is, you know, you done. Book another session. So I say all that to say, like, practice what y'all gonna do before y'all come in to any studio. And really think it through because it helps the engineer out a lot.
So when you're making a song, making a track, when you add the little punchline stuff to the back, is that the artist's creativity or is that the engineer's creativity?
What do you mean?
So like, when you hear like the little, when you want a song and you write your verse and you put like your little stuff in the background,
When I hear
little
that
echo,
stuff.
your little extra echoes and stuff like that. Is that the engineer's work or the artist's work?
I mean, if it's the artist's work, they're the person recording the song. But if they don't know what they want to put there, or if I just generally hear something that they don't, I'll give my input, and it's up to them as to if they want to use it or not. If I really feel strongly about it, like yo, if you do this one little piece, it's gonna take this bitch up, then I'm gonna like try to double down on it a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's all up to them.
What was the creative process behind creating your first EP?
First EP. Alright, so that was like 2009. The creative process was as far back as I can remember. Me being inspired by a lot of R&B music and music that I would hear on YouTube at the time. So around then, I did attempt to create other people's songs.
Mixed it like remixes.
Yeah, and like I said, around that time I was making beats, so I was doing my own little thing. But yeah, I was getting up at 6 a.m. I was so excited to wake up the next day and finish out a song, or see what it sounded like the next day, as if I didn't just record it the day before. And yeah, I was basically on that shit all fucking day. Like, it would be times where I wouldn't go outside, and my parents would be like, "Yo, you need to go outside." And I was a little fat kid, as I stated earlier. Like, yeah, they was reading me, but I was doing my shit, so I'm here today like this.
So, speaking about being a fat kid, how did you get into dancing? How do you come up with your choreo, whatever the word is said, because we're not about to sit here and try to say it, I'm just messing it up on TV. How do you get into your routines?
Alright, how do I get into my routines? So, alright, so going back to, again, when I was a fat kid, I always would, I had these 2 giant speakers in my living room, and I would hook them bitches up and just gum the shit out the fucking music. So I would be in there like envisioning my own little concerts. I would put on my favorite couple of artists, whatever songs I liked from them, and order them up like, who opening up, who going next? All that little weird shit, whatever. And it would be me the whole time, like performing the sets and shit. And I would like get these fucking beers, and we had all these folding chairs on my porch. So I would set them up in my living room and act like I was having church on Sundays, and be in there shouting and falling out with my nieces and shit. Yeah. So yeah, as far as my dancing, that stuff, and then more recently I had background dancers, so my choreographers are, the heavy part of that.
I think the song that you normally dance to is called, let's see if I got it right, y'all. So it's funny that you mentioned that song, because when I originally first heard that song, that's the song that I saw you performing to.
Okay.
And it gave me like in a New Orleans feel, and I love New Orleans, and I'm just like, it's like that New Orleans bounce.
Yeah.
That was good, and it was like it showed your development of an artist to be really diverse.
And I feel like nobody in this city is doing that style of music. As far as I know, I actually got into bounce in 2015, which is when I started transitioning into like my weight loss and stuff. And basically, I attached my weight loss all to the bounce music. I did low-key change the way I ate, but the bulk of it came from me doing a bunch of cardio, dancing, or like sweating in my room for 30 minutes or hours every day to bounce music.
And for people that's not familiar with bounce music, they really moving. I don't mean like they move, they be moving.
They shaking, period.
Like it's funny because like me and my friends all went down New Orleans,
Yeah.
and one of my friends, she could dance her ass off.
Okay.
Shout out Shad. She like, if we go to the club,
Yeah.
that's the one that's shaking her ass, bouncing. She getting in somebody's section, standing on the table, dancing. I was like, my bitch can dance.
Yeah.
When we went down New Orleans, I'm like, we gonna sit in the fucking back, bitch, because they not about to embarrass us, because they fucking move.
I'm crying.
But like, she was keeping up.
Yeah.
But they was like, they started getting a little. I'm like, it's time to sit the fuck down, because they getting it in.
Mm-hmm.
But she was keeping up. She was holding hers.
Yeah.
Part of being a successful artist is having a deep understanding of the market. Which current art trends are you following?
Alright, so I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I'm currently following anything, and I'm trying my hardest to get on the TikTok wave. I have an account, got videos on there. The first 2 videos I dropped, Yeah, the first 2 videos I dropped on there actually like did a little bit of numbers or whatever. But after that, it's like I'm just still trying to figure out how to navigate TikTok.
It's weird that you speak on TikTok because one of the previous interviews I did, the cipher that I invited you to, he was too busy to go, y'all. Don't cuss him out. So it'll be more in the future. The other artists is there, they all kind of like frowned upon TikTok because they were saying like it separates like real artists because you can be like a Corey and get your little 15 seconds of fame just from posting on one video.
Yeah.
How do you feel TikTok has affected the music industry?
Okay, so I definitely get where they coming from, cause this part of me low-key feel that way, but this part of me is like TikTok is helping us, you know, because I'm gonna use Lizzo. When her record, so you wanna be great, that song. When that shit took off, I kept hearing it and I'm like, yo, this shit sound mad familiar. Then they started hyping it up like, yeah, this song was actually released 2 years ago. And I'm not a stranger to that, because I know back in the day that shit happened a lot, but it wasn't really talked about. So with the Lizzo song, I'm like, damn, like 2 years ago, and now it's, you know, it's getting lit. It's hope for me and a bunch of other people as well too. So after that shit, I'm like, all right, TikTok popping and it's, you know, doing a lot of things for artists that I grew up listening to. So I know by like the grace of God, hopefully one day it'll maybe do that for me and shit. Cause I feel like I got some TikTok records. I be trying to make them, you know, keep up with the times and shit.
So are you telling other artists that they should use TikTok to their benefits?
I think they should, yeah. Cause like, you know, sometimes you gotta fake it till you make it. And somebody told me that shit a long time ago and it stuck with me. I'm not gonna lie. As far as like music, if you have to put out something that's really catchy and you ain't talking about shit just to get it lit, do that. And then that shit your way, if you transition the correct way to letting these people know what you're really about.
Damn, that's weird because speaking to somebody else, they had like almost a similar mindset as you.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm probably gonna butcher what he said, but I'm gonna say it in my way, in my form.
Mm-hmm.
He basically said you gotta use people to get where you gotta go. And in a sense, everybody uses each other.
Which one is the industry for? A lot of these niggas is not each other friends. It's all for clicks and fucking likes and comments and shit. And I know with me personally, we spoke about something off camera. The reason why I don't talk about that situation is because I'm literally there for that friendship. At the end of the day, these people are where they're at. And people like myself, underground artists trying to make it up, we still around the way. We in the hood like everybody else. We just trying to come out. So it don't matter who you know until you get on that level per se. You know?
So it's all about using people, but then also separating the people that you use into your real friends and then the people that you just use just to get where you gotta go.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, the labels are using the artists. These niggas don't even read or really know what the fuck they sign. Or don't do the research that they have to do before going into these offices, and they go in there and get fucked over and be mad at it. And a lot of them be stuck unless they smart and are able to get out of, you know, their situations.
I'm starting to peep which artists be on their shit, because when I'm talking to these artists, and a lot of them be on the same page, I be looking like I know who's making it, and then the other artists, they be on a whole different drift, and I just be sitting there like, this is not what 6 other artists said, and I can see where you at, but okay, that's another story for another day.
But you know, bro, honestly, like a lot of people don't listen, and I'm learning now that you gotta let people be. Cause I'm the type of person, I really be wanting to see everybody win. Down to giving niggas my last, knowing like, stupidly knowing like, alright, this is my last, but I'm gonna make sure they cool. And it's gonna be more shit coming from where the fuck I get it from, or whatever. And it's like, a lot of people don't appreciate that. So you have to really just let them learn on their own. Let them fall and make their mistakes. And hopefully they learn from that shit and not saying you could give them like, I told you so, but you know, that satisfaction to you would be like, yeah, I told him so, without saying it out loud.
That was a good point. What is your favorite song to perform as of now?
As of now, my favorite song is I'm gonna have to say God's, because that song is really my baby. You gotta drop it, baby, drop it, baby, drop it, baby, drop it, baby, drop it, drop it, drop it. I know you got it, man. I know you got it, man. But yeah, that song came out in 2020. It won me my first award for anything musically, so I hold that, near and dear to my heart. Shout out to Pop Smash Radio. And literally every person who has heard the song has had nothing but, good things to say about it. Even people who I thought would say negative things, or even stuff with myself that I feel like isn't right with the song. I expected others to point that out to me, and nobody really did. So yeah, I performed the song, a hell of a lot now. Like I said, I won the award. It's been played on like certain radio stations, and it's gotten me a lot of recognition. So if anybody is wondering why I still promote the song the way that I do sometimes, or why I perform it so much, that's why. Like how Beyonce, she always opened up with Crazy in Love.
That's her fucking song. That's her fucking song.
Yeah.
I got 3 follow-up questions. Well, 2 follow-up questions for me, and then 1 follow-up questions for the nosy fans out there that want to know your personal life. So, how does it feel when you just drive and you click and all of a sudden your song just come on the radio?
I haven't had that experience yet, but as far as like underground radio, at playlists and radio, it still feels really good, because a lot of them people, y'all may not know, even though they're on underground radio or app based, they're still connected to certain other people that connect you to certain other people that can get you somewhere. So for that, I'm just grateful for everything. I'm real humble about it all, because we all have to start somewhere, no matter how long you've been doing this shit. So,
in other words, keep streaming. Just keep streaming.
Keep streaming, and more than streaming, like actually buy our music, because that's really where the residuals and things of that nature is coming from. Y'all can't really expect us independent artists to provide y'all with these elaborate and immaculate music videos when sometimes our 9 to 5s isn't given that budget. And we're making this music for y'all to consume, and y'all like it so much. The streaming is wonderful, but buying it means a hell of a lot.
So when you say buy it, so say as far as what if somebody had like an Apple subscription, you could download the music. Do you still get your royalties from that, or do you actually have to go and buy the song?
Right. So what happens is when you have an Apple Music app on your phone and you're streaming the music constantly, we get paid like literally not even a whole dollar, but like cents for that, and it comes out like quarterly or whatever. But when you buy the music and you're like independent like myself, it'll go straight into our distribution account and whatever else.
So just because you got Apple Music and you can download free music, still switch over and go buy the song. It'll help out Artisans alive.
Yeah, and when you purchase it, you go on the iTunes app, not the Apple Music app, but the iTunes app, and you type in the song with the artist, and you click the 99 cent or however much it costs, and download that shit.
Okay. And where have you performed, and what are your favorite venues and your least favorite venues?
All right, let me pick up my phone for this one. So of course I performed around, Philly. I'm gonna say Voltage Lounge was one. That's one of my top venues here. I'm not gonna say favorite, but top venues.
Why so?
Why so? I like the stage. In 2018 on Mother's concert, and everything was just like smooth. It was wonderful. The sound man did his thing. The lighting was on point. Yeah, and that was like my first show with my background dancers. And for being our first show, I think it went pretty well.
And then your least favorite venue?
My least favorite venue. Alright, so like I said, I performed in Philly, Miami, ATL, right off back, DC. And I think that's it so far. But my least favorite venue was in Miami.
Miami? Why Miami?
Alright, so
Miami
this was
lit.
Yeah, this was recent too. This shit was in like the summertime, like May. So I was there or whatever. Long story short, the venue didn't have certain chords that I needed or, for my set or whatever. And it would have been beneficial for the other artists that was performing as well. They didn't have really access to their own lighting. The sound wasn't really all that great, but the stage was huge. Like, it was a really nice stage. And I had to come out of pocket, and I went ahead and purchased some things that the man who owned the building didn't have in order to make things go smoothly. It was a good show, but
That was really generous.
yeah.
It was a good show. Did you let other artists use it, or was it just like?
Yeah, like, I'm not that bull. Like, I ain't going, hey, y'all looking crazy if I'm, like, I don't want nobody to look crazy. I'm gonna set you up the way I set myself up, and you put it to your best use.
Good job. So, we're gonna take a break from my questions. We're gonna ask what the audience want to know.
Okay.
And that's about your music and your birth now.
Okay.
So a lot of your music is nasty.
Yeah.
A lot of your music talks about stolen boyfriends and stuff like that. How do you switch who you are as a person from your music?
Okay, well, I'm gonna be honest, like, more recently my music is me. I have a record called God Says Everybody Know. Like, the way I did that song is actually a real situation if you listen to the lyrics. I had a friend, and we fell out, and it was some crazy shit. I felt like, all right, I ain't gonna fight you to get back at you, but I'm gonna fuck your partner, and that's kind of what I did that. That's what I did, or whatever. We moved past it. Something else happened, and we fell out again. So I don't know. I got the beat, and I just started writing, and all that shit came out or whatever on the song. So me and the person mended our friendship again, and the song came out after we got cool again. And I told him, like, this song is about to come out, and this is how I was feeling at the time, because I wrote it right after we had fell out again. But aside from that shit, I feel like this record go up. Like, it's...
Now, if he had asked you not to put that record out for your friendship, would you have kept the record, or would you have still put it out?
I'm gonna be honest, I would have probably still put it out, because at the end of the day, my art is my art, and my truth is my truth. Regardless of the friendship, I just feel like they gotta understand that. But they did understood. They did understand. We didn't have to even go through all that shit or whatever. And they were supporting the song, and whatever. I even was going to thinking about it now. It's kind of stupid. I was going to ask them to be in the video. The person to be in the video.
And what reason was for that?
Just to show them love, because they make clothes or whatever. But just to show them love, like, all right, at the end of the day, I'm mentioning you in the song, so why not get a little cameo? Let people think what they want to think. But I never asked them to do it. So, yeah.
So who you are as an artist compared to who you are in real life is very transparent in your music?
Yeah, as of recent, because a lot of the songs on my album were definitely like personal. like with this Growth 2 record, originally it was an alternative R&B album, and then I scrapped all them records and was like, no, I really want people to know that I'm about this bounce life. So to sum it all up, Growth 2 was kind of experimental because I didn't know how people was gonna react to it. I did not fucking know, and I was so nervous, but a lot of the songs on there are doing well, and about 25 people bought my album. So for me being like independent and having the amount of followers that I do, to me that's, you know, I'm happy with that. You know, I'm not like bitter. It's good. And the streams are like up in the caves, so I just appreciate all love. Anybody that's fucking with B.Aquarius.
Give us some insight on your upcoming projects, such as singles, EP, album, show, and or performances.
Alright, so currently I have a single out called Wet with another artist named K Brooks. He's an R&B singer.
Shout out to K Brooks.
Yeah, and he's actually on my album too, on the song called You. And we got another record that never dropped, but you know, he's one who I like to work with a lot because we help each other out. And this song, Wet, when I first heard it, I'm like, this should have hit. This should have fucking hit. Before I was on the song, I'm like, this should have fucking hit. But let me get on it though, so it can really be, a hit. But no, it was a hit regardless. But it's like, I don't know, when I heard that fucking beat and then like, you know, the lyrical content and like the melody that he was singing, and I'm like, no, it's kind of doing something to me. Like I'm hungry, I want to eat this bitch up. And at that time, I was like depressed and going through writer's block and not really focusing on the music. It was, you know, a dark time. And yeah, that's a person who kind of brought me out of that and shit.
So if people wanted to go and subscribe, like, and buy this song, where would they be going to?
You can either go on Apple Music or any other streaming service that you use to listen to music and type in B.Aquarius or K Brooks. And you spell my name, the letter B, period, space, Aquarius. AQU.
Are you an Aquarius?
Yes.
It's okay. I'm a Sagittarius and I can only spell up to SAGGIT. And the rest of it I don't know. I freestyle the rest.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm on it, sometimes I'm off.
But, yeah, so y'all go check that out. The record is like, it's one of a kind. And I don't talk like that about my music, but when I hear that song, I think as if I'm not on it. Or even if, you know, K Brooks isn't on it. Bitch, that shit go. So yeah.
Okay, here's a big one, y'all. Y'all ready? So, owning it right now, 2022, where do you want to be? Owning it right now, top of your head.
Where do I want to be this year? Or
Yep.
Honestly, I want to be signed to, it doesn't matter if it's an independent or major label, just as long as I have the genuine support that I need from the people around me. I'm going to be there. That's where I want to be.
So you want to be established as an artist,
Established.
signed.
And I said this on record before. I'm not really, I don't care about all of the radio play, the hype, all that shit. Long as, you know, my music is selling to the point where I no longer have to work a job or even two jobs. And you know, I'm making people feel good and I'm changing moods and stuff, you know. That type of shit makes me happy. So long as I'm able to do that, I'm cool. I don't have to be your Jay-Z, your Drake, your Beyonce. I don't have to be those things. I'm B.Aquarius and I do my thing in my own right. And what's for me is for me. So, not to say that I won't get there. You never know. But, you know, again, what's for me is for me.
Okay. So, as you know, we're locked into the LeemyHendrix Show, and we're here with B.Aquarius. Describe your best piece of art you created so far in your career.
In my career so far, I'm single.
That is really your favorite song.
It is, cause I fucking I hate that verse. And when I was writing it, I was writing some other shit. And Kid was like, no, like you be Aquarius, like put that B.Aquarius in the Songwriter. Let me talk about shit. And I don't know, like for all of you music heads and like audio engineers, if you're watching, if you listen to the record a little bit, like listen to the vocals, y'all can hear me in the background a little bit. You know, my little singing shit.
Oh, so you singing in there?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any other tracks where you are harmonizing?
I have R&B records, but the artist K Brooks that's on the song Wet, you know, is actually his record, but on his album, I'm doing some background, just a little bit, you know. We were in the studio.
So are we ever going to get a track where you actually show some singing?
Yeah, all that shit is out there. Y'all gotta go find it. My album is called Growth 2 and it's on all streaming platforms. But the previous project before Growth 2 was Growth. It's an EP and it's on Audio Max. So just type in B.Aquarius Growth and it'll come out. That's mainly an R&B project. It has maybe about 2 down songs. Most of it is R&B.
Okay. Y'all heard him. Y'all want to hear him with some vocals? Go check in.
Yeah.
Here go a real good question. Describe how working in the music industry has been emotionally, financially, spiritually, and mentally.
In a nutshell, all of it has been draining, but aside from that negative aspect, it's been very rewarding. Each year, I've come to notice that God literally like opens a new door for me, some type of level, and it mostly be like unexpected, you know. Last year, a situation came to me, and I was able to travel more often than I would have been if I didn't have that situation, you know. And you know, showcase my talents in, you know, other places and things of that nature. So yeah, it's been, for the most part, it's been rewarding, but when it gets stressful and bad, it's stressful and bad. Like, you know, for us motherfuckers that's really in it, you know, you'll go broke once or twice or more times than that. You'll have the mental breakdowns. You'll feel alone and be by your fucking self, and there's really nobody you could really talk to, because ain't nobody gonna understand that shit but you at the end of the day. So it's up to you to just keep yourself pushing and stay prayed up to whoever it is that you pray to. I pray to God, but you know, stay prayed up and you know, and stay grounded. Like, don't let niggas come in and try to dictate or change what the fuck you got going on. You know what you want, so go for it. But don't be hard-headed either. You do have to listen. Because, you know, with myself, I feel like I know a lot, but I don't know it all. I'm far from knowing it all. And the thing about me is that I enjoy learning, especially when it comes to what I do. I want to know all that I can know with this music shit.
So it's about growth.
Growth.
How would you describe your roller coaster in the music industry? Is it more up? Is it more down? Or is it like just flexible in both ways?
I feel like it's flexible in both ways, but us as human beings, when bad shit happens, we process it more deeply than we would a good situation. As fucked up as it sounds, but it's the truth. But thinking logically, it really, for me, it balances itself. I know my hurdles and obstacles that I have to go over, and I'm ready for them. So.
I don't know what it is, but it seems like every time I talk to artists, we all just be on the same page. Because we was just talking about, like, it's sad that, like, people gravitate towards sad music You don't have to be sad. It's just that's what people like to listen to nowadays.
Yeah. And it's like, honestly, I don't know what the energy is, but everybody nowadays is just so depressed. Even myself, and it be freaking me out sometimes to the point where like, alright, I'm gonna go see a psychiatrist because I don't be knowing what the fuck be going on, and I'll be reacting certain ways or thinking shit. I'm like, yo, this is not me. I'm fucking tripping. Like, I don't know what it is, but me per se, I don't really gravitate towards sad music. I gravitate toward what grabs me. I do bounce music, but anybody that knows me knows that I kind of rarely even listen to bounce music. I'm driving around all day listening to fucking R&B, singing, having people looking at me like I'm crazy. Like,
so who would be your favorite artists?
Favorite artists right now, Big Frida, my guy Wilkes. What's another one? I'm gonna say TC. He's actually a songwriter, but he makes music as well. B. Slade and the gospel singer Kiara Sher. You know who that is?
Oh, no, I've heard that one.
Yeah, she's a gospel singer. Now, I'm gonna say K Brooks because his new album is fire. I don't know when that bitch coming out, but that shit crazy.
Oh, so we should be looking out for a little album from K Brooks soon.
Crazy, yeah.
Okay, y'all heard it here first.
Fucking love that shit crazy.
Y'all heard it here first. K Brooks album coming soon.
Period.
So as we get to the nitty gritty of things, my final 3 questions.
Okay.
Are you able to sample any current project that you're working on right now?
Sample. I don't know, but I'm gonna do it anyway. But we won't play like literally a couple seconds.
Okay.
So I have a lot of music coming out this year, and it's mostly features. Yeah, I'm working on my B.Aquarius shit, but that'll come when it comes. Anybody that's been following me for a long time, I would hope they've noticed that like I tend to put out a project maybe every 3 or 4 years. But in between, you have singles. And all that time, yeah, the singles come months after each other, but I'm performing the music throughout.
So when you make your singles, are you editing the singles over and then adding them to the album?
Sometimes, yeah. And it's crazy because with me, I kind of like to get everything perfect. And like I said, it's myself. I'm doing everything myself, so it takes a little longer. And for me, I don't just record a song and throw that bitch out the next day. I'm recording it, and it's probably getting 5 different mixes, which is going to take me more than a month, couple weeks to, be finalized to my standards, and then, that's when I put it out.
Okay. So which project are we previewing?
Alright, so this shit is called Shake That. I'm not sure when it's coming out, but it's a feature with my guy Travell. He's from ATL. This record is crazy. We can go ahead and play that.
You got me wrong.
You want to send it to me?
You can play it. I don't want to have sneak peeks in my phone. Don't want no blaming on this way. Oh, that's a good song.
Yeah, that bitch gonna go up too. Like, it's all hits and shit. Like, I'm not fucking play.
Oh, y'all heard it here on the fucking LeemyHendrix Show.
Shit.
Little preview. I should have just let you send it to me. I could have had this. I could have had the real fucking swoop up in here. What is something that I didn't ask you and you would like for the public to know?
Alright, so my next project, the sound is still going to be balanced, but I'm experimenting with other shit. You're probably going to hear some R&B. I have another feature coming out too, and the song is not balanced, it's not hip-hop, it's not R&B. It's more poppy, like pop type. I don't know. It's more mainstream. But yeah, the new project is going to be balanced R&B, maybe some drill. And y'all may hear a gospel song. A lot of my earlier projects, I ended them off with a gospel song. So if y'all want to go hear that.
So when you do your gospel songs, what energy do you be channeling in them moments?
I channel my roots. I was raised, I wouldn't say raised in the church, but you know how we all have them family members who are in the church, and then you have the family members who don't go to church. Yeah. So yeah, my mom and dad rarely ever went to church, but I was always with my cousins, and you know, whenever I was over there that weekend, or even if I wasn't, then you know, my aunts would take me to church with them. I was on the choir at one point. Forgot what the other name was called. Yeah, I was like,
oh, I'm getting the exclusive right now. You can only hear this on the LeemyHendrix Show. Tune the fuck in.
Yeah. And like in my adult years, I haven't been to church in a very long time, but I don't ever forget where I come from. My relationship with God didn't change, but I'm definitely getting back to the way that I felt as a child. And it's weird. So my family actually really literally thought that I may have, you know, probably was going to grow up and be a preacher. Because like I said earlier, I would be in the house setting up my living room playing church. But even with that, you know, they would always ask me to pray at the family dinners, or yeah, it was just always something.
Would you be interested in making a gospel album, or that's too far?
No, I think isn't. I think it's too far because number one, like, I could sing a little bit, but I don't feel like I want to tap into that because they really go in. And also, I don't feel like I'm living that squeaky clean lifestyle that it requires. So I'm not even going to sit there and try to play myself.
Nicki Minaj not just did it, but she was on a gospel song and she did a rap, but she
know.
is not squeaky clean.
We know, but that's not a whole album. That's one song.
You could do a little EP, gospel EP.
Yeah, I would consider an EP. Like you never know. Like even with this next project, I don't know if it's going to be an album, an EP, or even early 2010s, a fucking mixtape. And I never know until it's done. That's how I.
So when you make your EPs and your albums, is there a big difference, or it's just not really a big difference to you?
I'm gonna say it kind of is a big difference because Growth 2 is literally my first album, and I've been doing music since 2007. Everything else has been like a mixtape or EP. Yeah, even like the original Growth 2017, that was a EP. It wasn't an album.
So like, what's the big difference between the two? I guess your EP's more relaxed, your album's more.
It varies. I feel like Growth 2 is so like experimental in my head, and it's so hype. It's upbeat. It don't really slow down until like the last two songs before the final song. Then the final song you pick right the fuck back up again. But with the EP, like, you open up on a relaxed note, and you really chilling until you get to the bottom and you hear them 2 bounce songs, and then right after that it's like a regular trap track.
Okay.
So it's a big difference.
Okay. What is a final message you have to offer anyone striving to be an artist?
Keep pushing. Continue to believe in yourself. I'm not gonna say fuck what anybody has to say, because you know you do have to take heed to some things. But you know the energy. When the vibe not right, you feel that shit. So like, just go with your instinct. You know, keep people at service level, but don't let anything take you away from what it is that you want to do. If you know for a fact that you want to do music, and you're not just somebody who woke up and said, oh, I'm gonna do music to make it out the hood, but you know, like, yo, I am music, do it. Like, it's nothing that's gonna stop you, because I could tell you personally, like, even from when I was a young boy, like, now in my adult years, I get so discouraged and I get depressed, and I'm like, yo, I'm not doing this shit. Like, I can't. It's taking on my money. I'm going through other shit mentally, and it's adding on to that. It's too much. And there's been times where I took a break for like a year, but at the end of the day, I get right the fuck back into it, and I don't even be thinking about it. I don't know. It just happens. Like, I am music. Like, regardless of if I'm an artist or doing some shit in the background, like, music is in me.
And that was really a powerful message.
Thank you.
You've been tuned into the LeemyHendrix Show. We talked about some real deep shit, but one thing I do want to say is mental health is really important, y'all. Really check in. Make sure y'all have some coping skills to cope with certain things. Make sure you have an outlet to do outside of what you want to do, just so you can take a mental break away from the stuff that you do. Make sure you have friends, family, and people to talk to. Make sure you take time just for yourself, because mental health is really important.
And let me add this in there too. Like, you know, we all have people that we love and care about, but watch who you keep around you. Make sure that everybody that's around you is solid. Like, even if it's one fucking person. You only 10 million friends. It may feel good to have a lot of friends and whatever, but at the end of the day, when it starts fucking with your mental or your physical or just anything that's not you, like, you gotta get rid of it. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people may want to ignore or dance around the topic, and I was one of them people, but a lot of motherfuckers are in the dark shit. And that's just what it is. Like, you can't really trust everybody. So just stay prayed up and make sure that everybody's on the up and up, and, like, you know, stay grounded in what it is that you know, and follow that and only that.
And this has been the LeemyHendrix Show. Thanks for tuning in the fuck in.